I had no warning signs, no symptoms. I didn't have migraines. I didn't feel any different day to day. And then there you go, off to the emergency room, CAT scan, and within a month, a full craniotomy. The day that I had my seizure was probably the 8th day on the job. So I was having my first meeting, and within a matter of a second, the whole left side of my body went numb and my left arm flew back. The next thing I remember was coming to in an emergency room. I had no idea where I was.
For a man in his 40s to have a seizure, there's usually a reason, if he doesn't have a history of it. So to have a new onset seizure in your 40s, there's typically a brain tumor involved.
Dr. Cashman was instrumental in putting us together with the Mayfield Clinic. Mike and I have boys in the 7th grade that are friends. When I was in the emergency room, Jamie, my wife, contacted Mike for his advice.
That's when I immediately thought of Vince DiNapoli. He's an expert. I trust him. I would have him operate and take care of any of my family members, so getting him involved with Chris's care was paramount.
When we got to review Chris's MRI, his tumor was located in an area that was responsible basically for motor planning. So we know that that area can be safely removed. The patients can have some transient weakness after surgery, sometimes even paralysis, which Chris did experience some of that.
Tumors such as Chris had as an astrocytoma, you can take out the ball of tumor that you see on the MRI, but there are fingers of tumor that go out into the brain that you cannot see on the MRI that you cannot resect. There's no 100% cure of this tumor surgically. It's a multi-modality treatment. You have to have surgery and chemotherapy and radiation, and all of those things together can help really stem this from growing.
We know a lot about brain tumors at this point, but there's still a lot that we don't know, and I think things that we can just definitely improve going forward. So, that's where research comes in. We need to continue to advance the technology, but also advance our understanding of how these cells are starting in the first place, how we can attack them and get rid of them, and hopefully turn these kinds of conditions into a survivable disease and not something that ultimately takes someone's life.
Prior to surgery, I had run 1 marathon, several half marathons. It felt good to get out and run, but for me, I needed some motivation. I reached out to the Mayfield Foundation to see if there was a way for me to raise money for the organization that I felt had given me a second chance. My goal was originally to raise $3,000, but I ended up raising $11,000. I look at each day as a milestone and a day that I'm fortunate to be here.
For a young man to get this tumor, it's heartbreaking, because we know it's eventually gonna take his life, and we need to continue to push technology and push research to try to find a cure, to better treat this tumor so people can live longer and possibly be cured, and research plays a huge role in that.
My race is against medication, and that's why I run so slow, because I want the medication and the medicine in the medical world to beat me in my race, because if it beats me, that gives me a longer time here. Being able to spend more time and see my sons get married, graduate from high school, and live long enough to see their lives is why I donate, why I think people should donate. It gives me hope that my life will be long enough that I can know my grandchildren.